Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today, I am going to be doing something a little different again. It's a little, it's like tutorial on some things y'all should know about Diablo. Now here, today in this video, I will only be doing 5 tips, but I think they are the 5 most important ones for those who are barely starting Diablo, or for those who have already been playing the game for a while, and who knows, you might learn something new. I'm not gonna lie, all these 5 tips I've learned only recently in like the past month. And honestly, that's how long I've been playing the game now, for what, 2 months? So, I'm still learning new things. I have my level 100 Barbarian flipping bash barb. It's awesome. I'm loving it. But, I'm always down to learn new things. And I just want to make sure you guys have the same knowledge as me. Or maybe you guys can tell me new things in the comment section down below. But let's get right into the video. So, the first tip that we are going to go over, let me pull up my tips list here, is crafting materials for the pit. Now, I know, at least for me, when you first started the pit, you thought you just had to go in here and flip and grind all the way until tier 30 to get a bunch of Obdicite. And then same thing with Ingolith, you just had to go all the tier 60 and just keep grinding that. I am here to tell you and save you so much time. I actually got this tip from someone who commented in my video. Shout out to them. They just told me it's not really worth grinding the lower pits, which is true because it's just too easy now for a build like this. So honestly, I'm at tier 112, but honestly, the sweet spot for me is tier 101, because tier 101, if you complete it, it gives you 60 Netheron. I have 90 right now because obviously I'm getting my things to Masterwork 12, but literally from tier 101 to tier 112, it goes up 3 Netheron. So it'd only be 63 between all that. So if you want to go higher for a higher challenge, okay, go ahead. But honestly, my sweet spot right now is 101, because that gives me 60 Netheron each tier, or each time I do the tier. But what does that have to do with anything? So basically, if you go over here to whichever town you're in, to the alchemist, you go and interact with her, and then you go to transmutation, crafting materials. Then here you can either craft Ingolith or Obdicite. To craft Obdicite, you need Ingolith. And then to do that though, I will tell you right now, so it says materials gain 3. So 1 Netheron is equal to 3 Ingolith. So if you do a tier pit of 60, you get like 30 Ingolith. While here, if you just do 1 tier pit, that gives you 60 Netheron, just to see how much I'll get. So let's say you use all 60 Netheron and convert it to Ingolith. You get... Oh, god damn it. I forgot my hotkeys do that. I'm back. Basically, if you put in 60 Netheron, you get 180 Ingolith. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do that now because I no longer need Ingolith, but boom. Then if you have 60 Ingolith, you can make... For now, let's just do 7 of that. That gives you 21 Obdicite, which is... So literally, it's the same thing, just with Ingolith. So, for example, if you had 60 Ingolith, you get 180 Obdicite. So, and it only costs like 1,000 coins. So, it ain't even that much. So, I know, obviously, at the beginning, if you're barely starting to Masterwork your builds, obviously, work your way up until you can get to Masterwork 4 on all your things. And then grind a little bit of the next tiers to get Ingolith, but once you reach that Netheron tier pit, that's honestly all you need to do, just to keep yourself a challenge, but also get a bunch of material to craft other material. And also, if you want to switch other builds and you have to masterwork up other gears for different builds, boom, it's just an easier way to do it. But that is tip number 1. Now on to tip number 2. Now, tip number 2. Once again, you have to go to the alchemist. You come over here, interact with them. And then as you see here, I have a tab that's called Quest? Good lord. Quest Elixir. And it's called the Elixir of Antivenin. Luckily, I already have 4 here at the moment. I already took one just to show y'all. So this one is the Elixir of Antivenin. Basically, it's potion resistance by 20% and maximum life increases by 50%. And then obviously experience gain. But as you can see, I have another potion active. I have Elixir of Fortitude, because this elixir allows you to take 2 potions at a time. Now, as you can see here, this one only says you may only have 1 elixir at a time. That is true if you try to do another magic elixir, but if this is a normal one, you can take it. Not too sure if it counts for rare elixir. I'm gonna use one of my momentums here just to see, because I don't really use that. So it does take away the other one. So you can only have this one and then just only one other potion at a time. But either way, 2 potions and plus an incense, you'll be good for bosses, pits, or anything like that. And then to find this, you need to actually do a side quest here in Gia Cool. All right, it is called... It is not late shipment. It's actually above this one. I've already completed it, hence why it's not popping up. But the side quest is called Pinch of Poison, and you just need to speak to Baram, and then he's gonna make you go collect 15 scorpion venom. And then when you return it, he gives you the ingredient to make the potion, and then there you go. You have a potion that allows you to take 2 at a time. So that's just a tip, you know. If you've ever seen videos or other players, they have 2 potions, you're just wondering how they do that. And that is how you do it, all right? Now, on to the next tip, number 3. Number 3 is a little more complicated, but I'm going to keep it simple because I've seen it in other videos of how people explain it, and it just goes on and on. I'm going to just be quick about it. Now, as you see in my Barbarian, I have critical strike damage on my bludgeoning weapon and both of my dual weapons and my amulet. Now, if you go into tempering it, though, they do not pop up. It would be in offensive, and it's not in berserking, natural, demolition, none of that. To actually get that temper, you actually have to go and make a rogue class. I'm gonna switch over here real quick. All right, I have now switched to my rogue class. So when you go into your rogue class, you have a temper that's called, let's see here. Oh, I gotta put it on a weapon or else it won't work. All right, my bad, I'm tweaking here. Let me get a sword. So if you go to offensive, you have what is called Marksman Finesse, and then as you can see, it's his critical strike damage. Now, how do you get this on items for your Barbarian? Basically, what you do is, obviously, if you make another Seasonal Realm character, you have the same chest. So, for example, I have all my Whirlwind, my Normal Barb, my Thorns Barb, and then these are just other items that are required to keep. Now, for example, this sword right here is for my Barbarian build, so I would just equip it, go here, go to Temper, and go to Marksman Finesse, and then there I can apply the critical strike damage. And it's just the same. You temper it, go back to your Barbarian build, take it out of the chest, and now it has critical strike damage. Now on to tip number 4. Now tip number 4, we actually don't have to go that far. It's going to be the same thing. Now if you have a Barbarian that needs to utilize vulnerable damage, you can do the same thing with Cutthroat Finesse. Now as you see here, I still have magic on it. This one is rare. Obviously you can go all the way up to legendary. It took me about level 38 to get Marksman to rare, but the legendary one only drops in World Tier 4, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, maybe World Tier 3, but I was okay with the rare. If you want to go all the way to the legendary, go ahead. I think it literally puts the minimum to 60% and then the maximum to 80%, so kind of a big difference, but I'm okay with the rare. Same with Cutthroat, though. It also has the rare version. Now we can actually see that in our collections here. If we go to Codex, Tempering Recipes, and it's going to be offense. So as you can see here, Cutthroat, and then the ones we haven't unlocked, Cutthroat Legendary. So it would be 41% to 55% for vulnerable damage. For Marksman, though, it'd be 62% to 85%. So it is a kind of a big jump, I won't lie, from, let's see, where did it go? My blind. Here it is. Yeah, 62, yeah, it just goes up by 10. So up to you guys, though. But that is how you get the temperings for your Barbarian. And literally is the same thing. Go to offensive, Cutthroat, and then you just roll it until you get vulnerable damage. Put whatever item it is back in the chest. Switch back to your Barbarian. Take it out of the chest. And there we go. Kind of weird how you have to make a whole rogue class for a tempering item. But that's the simple and easy way of how to do it. And then like that, you have so much more accessibility to other builds that you want to try. But now on to the next tip. And may I say, the final one I have for y'all. Now, maximizing resistances. Now, the final tip I have for you guys, tip number 5, is how to maximize your resistances. Now, I know here it says 66 for poison, 64 for cold, but I got 70% for lightning, shadow, and everything, right? So, now with this season, I know it only focuses on one core stat for each build. I see Barbarian, it's strength. I think for Necromancer, it's intelligence. Druid is willpower. Dexterity, I'm not 100% sure on who it's for, but, you know, season 3, all of these could be like at 1,000 if you wanted to. But so how do you maximize resistance? Pretty simple. Now, if you follow a build, most of the time, either your chest or your boots will have something that says, you know, fire resistance, poison resistance, lightning resistance, you know? You don't really have to match it, though. Just make sure there's at least one resistance on those pieces of armor, right? So I think for my chest, it's supposed to be fire, and for my legs, it's supposed to be lightning. But I have shadow and lightning. Now, obviously, you know, these are masterworked, and I have lightning at 70%. But for that, in that case, obviously, your amulets, you can acquire gems to put on that will give resistance to certain elements. So, hence, this one I have 70% lightning, and my boots I have 64% shadow. I don't need a gem for either of those, right? So then I only have 3 others. Easy. I put 3 of the gems of each one that I need on here. So I had no fire resistance. Wait, why is my fire at 70%? I don't have a gem. Sorry, I was a little confused on why I had 70% fire resistance if I don't even have a gem for fire. But, forgot to mention, my pants have 50% fire resistance. And if you go into the resistances, it literally says here, I cannot exceed 85%, but I currently have 132% fire resistance from bonuses and minus 50 from, you know, the world tier and everything. So this also includes your Paragon board as well. You know, you have resistances in here for certain magic nodes. Let's see if I can find it. I think it's here. Yeah, 6% resistance. And then I could acquire all these to get a little more resistance, but your Paragon also contributes. And then obviously, you know, plus your intelligence. So in that case, you know, I have all fire, lightning, and shadow maxed out, right? So it only leaves cold and poison. So obviously, you know, I'd put a poison gem here and a cold gem here for the resistance. And then, you know, a diamond one just to max it out. And then on top of that, I'll take an incense potion that increases my maximum resistance by 10% to all elements. Or increases, yeah, by 10%. And my maximum resistance to 1% in the armor, you know. And then if I take that, everything's at 71% and maxed out. And there we go. You have all maxed out resistances for pits and anything like that. Because before, I won't lie, I did struggle with that. I would always have, like, only 3 at 60, and then the other 2 were, like, at 20%. But, so yeah. But this, again, it also varies. Like, you know, if here you have poison and cold, then over here, and then, let's say here you have shadow, then over here you can have whatever element is missing and put the gems there. I always just leave one diamond one for resistance to all elements just to balance it all out, because I mean, without the incense, I would only just need either a cold or poison, but I'm not going to put a whole other 45% when it only caps out at 70. So I'll just put a resistance of 8 to get both of them up to 64 at least, which is almost maxed out. But then I just need to take an incense, and there we go, everything is maxed out. But those are the 5 helpful tips I have for y'all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to click the like button, subscribe, turn on those notifications. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know down in the comment section below. And if you guys think I missed a key tip for those who are new to the game or have experienced the game, you've picked up on something or anything that I could have mentioned, let me know it down in the comment section down below. Because, you know, I'm always here, happy to know more new things about the game. And who knows, maybe I'm still going to learn something. I'll see a tip y'all mentioned in the comments, and it'll just change the way I play and stuff. But until the next video, take care, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.